What would we do without you, man?
Hey, internets! It's Jake from Mini Terrain Domain, and this is Welcome to Paradise Academy. This is Season 2 of our Kids on Bikes RPG. This is Episode 37, The Powers That Be. And in just a couple moments, we will get into the game proper. First, a couple of really quick announcements. There's really only one thing that I want to promote right now, and that is on December 7th at 4 p.m. Pacific, 7 p.m. Eastern, we will once again be hosting Todd Stashwick's Nerd Circus Presents Legends of Eleonora. This is our third charity D&D celebrity game. This one is entitled Secret of the Frozen Flame. And, of course, our amazing Dungeon Master, Todd Stashwick, will be, once again, calling upon his Hollywood friends. This time it's an all Star Trek cast to play Dungeons & Dragons while we raise money for the Pavlov Foundation. The players that Todd has summoned to join us are Celia Rose Gooding, who plays Uhura on Star Trek Strange New Worlds, Anson Mount, who plays Captain Pike on Star Trek Strange New Worlds, Ed Spaliers, who you may know from Downton Abbey, maybe Outlander, or from Star Trek Picard, who I believe he plays Jack Crusher. And speaking of Crusher, we've got Gates McFadden, Dr. Beverly Crusher from Star Trek The Next Generation, who is going to be in this game. In addition to being able to watch these amazing personalities have fun, cut loose for a few hours playing D&D, while all of the usual incentives you can donate for $25, $50, $100, whatever, for re-rolls and nat 20s and all kinds of things like that. You can have an opportunity to play in this game. 2 people. Right now, there's a link in the chat. If you were watching this on the VOD, sorry, it's probably too late. But I will say it just in case, because this auction does end on Monday, November 18th. It is pavlov.org/secret. If you head over there, you will see an auction site that will allow you to bid. And I'm not gonna lie, you need deep pockets. You gotta pull together some gold coins. But it is for a worthy cause. And as I said, this is pretty much like basically a once in a lifetime opportunity. You get to play in this particular group, to play alongside these amazing players and be a part of. Just last April, in 4.5 hours, we raised $54,000, counting the seed auctions. It's incredible to watch that number rise while watching a game happen. Several of the people that are here now are also joining us, are also moderators, and we have a special moderator lounge where people are talking about the game and keeping an eye on things and keeping chat safe during the game. And it's just amazing, and you can feel that excitement. It's palpable as that number increases. That was enough to fund a research grant. And that's just absolutely incredible. There are also going to be posters. There's going to be limited edition t-shirts that feature custom artwork by Julia Madalena, who has become our official artist for these events. She's an incredible artist who does all of these amazing posters. If you've seen if you see the background of the poster for the current auction site, you will see some of that artwork, and the title treatment for Secret of the Frozen Flame is done by Igni Hart on Instagram, who has also become a regular part of the production process. So, if you got the money, go over there, bid. There's a couple people that are bidding back and forth over the seats. Bidding is going to get more intense as we get closer to the end of the auction. But if that's a little too steep for you, please do show up on December 7th. Be a part of the audience. If nothing else, you get to see an incredible game and maybe donate for a reroll or two for folks. They love reading off people's names when they get to use these rerolls, and it's become an integral part of the game. With that, I will give you a content warning that we are adults playing as children and teenagers in a fictitious setting set in the 1980s at a fictitious academy, a school. You may see things like graphic descriptions of violence. You may hear adult language. You may hear difficult situations or intense topics, such as, but not limited to, bullying, divorce, substance use and abuse, any number of things. If these are not for you, please do feel free to take care of yourself and go somewhere else. But do know that we have had our session zeros. We have safety tools in place. Lines and veils have been established. And we take care of one another so that everybody at the table is having fun. We encourage you to use session zeros and safety tools at your own tables. They are incredibly important. There is a safety toolkit link that was just dropped into the chat. Please do check that out. And then, of course, the last thing that I want to say, that for many people, I feel this has become increasingly necessary to remind you that you matter. Your presence in this earth, on this earth, makes a difference. But if you are struggling, as so many people currently are struggling for various reasons, there is help available. All you have to do is come into our chat and type !help, as Jeremy has just done. And a couple of URLs will pop up. Findahelpline.com. Or you can check out the growing list of resources at takethis.org. We encourage you to check out those websites, bookmark them, save them for yourself, save them for a friend, and remember, you matter. With that, I would like to welcome you all to Paradise Academy. The iterations are continuing to crumble. Maybe crumble isn't the right descriptor. It might be more appropriate to say that they are disintegrating. The integrity has been compromised. Cracks have begun to appear. Literal cracks have begun to appear in the very space around you. One moment you're watching an electric blue energy cut a jagged slice through the air where a student stood. The next moment you're watching that student cut in half, lying bleeding on the floor. And then suddenly the day started over. But things were different. You were trying your best to make your way, but somehow the crumbling universe around you continues to fall apart. I'm going to do something a little bit different here, and before we even get into specifically what you're dealing with, I'm going to ask Jeremy. Make a grit check, please. Or rather, Laz, I should say, is going to make a grit check.
It's very important you're specific during this game, because
this game,
apparently
yes.
we exist in this land.
It's true. Pretty dang good roll. No modification, so it is an 18.
Laz, the last couple things you remember experiencing is after the iteration rebooted and you were in a different version of the first day of school. After lunch, you went to class and Dr. K approached you and said he needed to talk to you. And then mysteriously you found yourself once again in Stapler House, dealing with just dealing with Stapler House's BS. But you you watched as all around you, your friends began to die. You all learned something about Stapler House, about the ley lines, about the living entity. And then things started to fade and dissolve. In times of trouble, Laz, when things get difficult, what is your refuge? Where do you take solace? Or, as some people might say, what is your safe space or your happy place?
So I think that one of the places that we've already kind of touched on and seen is whenever he goes and bombs the hill. But that's usually whenever pressure at home kind of drives him out. So I think the other space is usually in his room with his I want to say it's probably part of his mom's record collection that he has just kind of adapted and then added to a little. And so he has, a set of those large over the ear, like 70s headphones. And he sits there and practices chords on his guitar as he like strums along to the music that he's listening to on these old vinyl records.
You're sitting there listening to what record are you listening to, or what song are you listening to right now?
I'm gonna go with Dark Side of the Moon, Money.
Oh, money, it's a kick. Awesome.
It's got that amazing intro with the cash register sound.
That song is like, I won a radio contest once because I called in when they played that song.
It is such an iconic song. It's
great.
It's also weirdly it's a song that is simultaneously very Pink Floyd but also very not Pink Floyd, I think. But
it's hot takes with Jake.
Just my opinion. But nonetheless, I imagine as you're sitting there, you've got the jacket or Dark Side of the Moon sitting up on the maybe propped up on the window, which creates an interesting effect with the sunlight coming through, and there's that image of the light hitting the prism on the album cover and shooting outward as you are in this world of listening to this song and playing along with it. Somewhere around the middle of the track, actually we'll say it gets all the way to the end of the track, before the next song picks up, there's probably typically a good 3-4 seconds of that classic needle on vinyl, that little bit of static in your ear, before the next song picks up, and then it continues. That static needle on the record. The next song doesn't start. Instead, after about 10 seconds, just about when you're being pulled out of that sort of trance, you hear, hello? Hey.
Oh God.
Hello? Can you hear me?
Kind of looks up at the record player. That messes with the headphone a little.
Lazarus
Doesn't
Eccles.
respond.
Yeah, talking to you.
Oh my God.
Who is this?
Okay, you can hear me. Good. We don't have a lot of time.
No, that's not good. There's no way that that's good.
I'm sorry to do it this way, but this also is not the weirdest thing that's happened to you. Not even in the last hour, let alone the last week.
You gotta tell me who you are, or are you just
No.
gonna keep talking to me?
No, I'm not going to tell you
Oh.
who I am.
Great.
That's not important.
Okay.
No.
Who I am is not important. You and your friends. Listen, I feel like if I just say you guys are in danger, you're going to be like, yeah, no shit. We're in danger. You're in danger.
No, that's a very apt response, actually, at this point.
Seems like every week you're in a new kind of danger. I'm sorry, every minute, every hour, you're in some new kind of danger. Usually of your own making. And I feel like...
I don't know that that's exactly fair, but
well,
okay.
I feel like there are obvious ways that you and your friends could maybe avoid the danger. But you seem... Sometimes I think you choose the dangerous routes just for dramatic effects.
As commendable as it is for you to, like, give me this unsolicited advice, I'm kind of, like, busy, so...
Arguably,
Is there
at any point in the last year of your life, this is the least busy you've been. That's why I chose this moment.
Thanks.
We don't have a lot of time, as I said. Look up. Above the window.
He'll look up.
You look up above the window, and you see in the corner of the window, almost blending in with the light, you see a crack extend about 6 inches, and it's got that luminous blue quality to it.
Are you doing this?
No. Not directly.
Okay. Is there a way to stop it?
Well, there's a couple ways you can stop it. Well, not you in particular. You can stop the fractures with your ability. Look, I saw what you did to the vampire at the party.
Okay.
And I know that you did it with lightning you absorbed on the beach 100 years ago.
Okay, cool. But I what do I do? Just like shoot lightning at every little blue zip line thing that I see?
It's not lightning. It's not just lightning. You have the ability to absorb energy. You used it to generate kinetic energy when you were in the lab, right?
Yeah.
Any kind of energy you can absorb. With enough practice, you can possibly even feed off of abstract energy. That palpable sense of fear. The excitement of a crowd. Things like that.
Can I absorb the energy that's causing these cracks?
The energy that's causing the cracks right now is probably going to be too much for you. But the cracks themselves, you can absorb, redirect at will. You know this. You've done it with the electricity. Just like out of all of you, I think your friend Jessica and your friend Billy have the best handle on how to use their powers. Billy knows he's a werewolf, and he just wolfs out when he needs to. Sometimes his anger, especially under the influence of the moon, it gets to be a little too much. Hold on. And as the voice says, hold on, you see across your bedroom mirror. And then you just see very slowly it moves the full length of the mirror. Okay. Anyway. Your friends, Billy wolfs out when he needs to. The moon, gets him all in a tizzy and he loses control once in a while. Jessica knows that she can phase through stuff. She's actually been kind of good at it the whole time. Well, for the most, I mean, the whole incident with Coop notwithstanding.
Well, they've had their abilities, I guess, longer than most of the rest of us, so it stands to reason that they would be more adapted to using them.
Rosie is unbreakable. You learn that. But I'm first and foremost going to tell you, Laz, that does not mean her heart is unbreakable. Do not forget that.
Intend on breaking her heart.
Just remember that.
Okay, yeah, I'll fucking remember that.
Coop can talk to people in his head. With enough practice, he can direct specifically who he's talking to, but he's also got that fancy new attachment for his hand. You play video games, right?
Sometimes.
Well, just like with a video game, you got to try out different combinations, different button combinations and directions, different tactics to figure out what works. Coop needs to practice. Then there's Oak. Oak is different than the rest of all of you. Oak has powers that go far beyond what all of you are capable of.
The time travel stuff, yeah?
It's more than just traveling through time, it's controlling time. Listen, you guys just gotta use these abilities that the universe has given to you.
Every time we try, it's like whoever's running all of this like presses the restart button or does something to fuck with us.
Rosie has a reset button. You all have, for the first time, you have the ability to affect the iterations directly.
How do we get all of this to stop? How do we get out of this place?
I don't know. That's the right question. It's not about getting out. It's like asking how. It's asking a question that means more than you think it does. It's not about getting out, Laz. Getting through might be more appropriate. And this might sound a little corny, but I think it fits with some of these movies that you like. And I just imagine your attention drawn for a moment to any one of the 80s movies posters that are probably on your wall. You need to figure out, by you I mean you and your friends, you need to figure out why. But not just why. Who? Who you are. Who you really are.
Listen, like, we're all like teenagers and preteens. Like, that's a really hard question to answer. We're all working on it, you know?
Well, keep working.
Is there a way that I can get in touch with you at some point if I need to, or
There's not not a way that you're going to be able to reach out to me. I might be able to reach out to you. We don't have much time. I need you to brace yourself.
Okay.
Look at the corners of your room. Looking around your room, you see on every wall of your room, moving very slowly, you see that the fractures are gathering. They're increasing. I'm not going to lie to you, this next part, not going to feel great.
What are you talking about? You can't stop it? Or
I
like,
can't
slow it down,
stop
or
it.
redirect it?
You're acting like I'm somehow in control of all of this.
You are talking to me through headphones and a record. So I don't know what you can do. I don't know what you can't do. I don't know who you are. I don't know
For all you know,
what exactly you want me to do.
For all you know, I'm Jake the truck driver talking to you over my CB radio on a crossed signal. FCC guidelines mean that your headphones aren't protected from radio broadcasts. Maybe I'm actually Dr. Devin Sharp. I'm not. I know how much you hate that guy. Just suffice it to say, I have your best interest at heart. And,
Okay.
well, good luck. The next song begins playing, which I wish I had looked up what the next track was. But the next track begins to play as... Now, you've seen these fractures moving across laterally. Try to imagine what almost like an electrical arc of energy that's fracturing physical space in front of you would look like if it were coming directly towards you. And now imagine that each one of them is splitting off, and each one of those is splitting off, and each one of those is splitting off, until you are struck by literally hundreds of these fractures.
Oof.
And your world goes white. You already rolled an 18 on your grit check, so this actually doesn't hurt you.
My God.
Rosie,
Yo.
where is your refuge, your place of solace?
My happy place. I think it's just like on a baseball diamond, like some little sand lot somewhere. Probably pitching to my brother. Like practicing.
Al, right?
Cal, yeah.
I think the first sound we hear is that classic sound that's, I think, very readily associated with Rosie. That sound of a baseball slamming into the leather of a glove.
Mm-hmm.
Not just being caught, but more so the baseball is stopping only because the leather prevents it from continuing on its trajectory. You put some heat on that ball as usual.
Mm-hmm.
And you see as Cal takes the ball out of the glove. He tries not to show it, but you can see him kind of shake that hand, flex it, a little bit of a wince.
Nice.
The ball he returns has some heat on it. And I think for a few minutes, it's a pretty typical game of each of you are throwing the ball hard enough to cause the other's hand to sting through the glove. Before...
And...
Well, yeah, I would say...
Can I give one little detail?
Yeah, I was going to say, how... You take it.
Oh, for any sporting people, I imagine Cal, because Rosie's his sister and he wants her to have high self-esteem, he's not keeping the ball where he catches it. He's like framing it almost like they would like in an actual game. And I imagine Rosie's kind of grumbling about him doing this because, like, if she's out of the strike zone, she wants to know and she wants to improve. And so, despite his best efforts, he's just kind of he's pissing her off a little bit.
After another dozen or so of these exchanges, Cal catches the ball.
Mm-hmm.
He takes it out of his glove and he just starts turning the ball over in his hand, stopping every once in a while with his hand in a different position of a different type of pitch. But he's just sort of holding it in the air. Mm-hmm. And I imagine this almost this sort of cinematic rack focus as we see this close-up of him holding this ball, and then the rack focus shows you in the distance standing there, and Cal just says, "How long are we going to keep this up?"
And Rosie kind of like puts her hands on her hips and she's like, I mean, like, can we like 20 more tops? I mean, like the curve is almost there. I just want like another 3 inches of movement.
I'm not talking about having a catch, Rosie. How long are you going to keep this up?
And like Rosie knows that he knows what's going on here, and she kind of is just like kind of kicks the dirt and wondering kind of if it is actually dirt. And she just sort of shrugs and she's like, I don't know. She kind of doesn't look at him.
You only ever come here when something's really eating away at you. And you don't want to think about it. I don't think that's going to help you here. It's an escape. I think
I know what it is.
You're past the point of hiding from your problems.
This is different. This is different. There's so much. It's like, you know, any other problem I've had before, I've had something sturdy to lean on, you know? With this, there's just no solid ground. There's so many moving parts. I mean, I don't know what the right thing to do is. That's always been easy for me.
He takes a step forward and suddenly he's standing next to you. If all of the parts are moving, you can't focus on it. Look for one of the parts you can grab hold of. If everything's moving, you can't hold it all together. You can't try to stand still in the midst of chaos. Have it not affect you. You gotta find one thing, one piece of solid ground, or one something that's that sturdiness that you need.
I think right when Cal mentions one thing to hold on to, there's like a flash, like if this were like a movie, it'd be like very quick flashes. One of Laz, the first time they kissed, and then several more of her just like laughing and joking around with Laz. And then the last shot is him kissing Claire. And then Rosie just kind of like blinks and sort of shakes her head.
You almost had it. Go back. Hold on to the solid thing.
But that it's not a solid thing. That's the problem. There's nothing that's a solid thing.
Your friends.
There's nothing.
Your friends seem pretty solid to me.
I mean, Most of them are. Some of them could, you know, get a little pissed off about something and rip my throat out. I don't know.
Your friends have become incredibly important. With what you've been through, I would argue they're probably the most real thing that you've had. And I know that everything you thought you knew was turned upside down. I'm gonna turn it upside down just a little bit more. But I want you to hold on to that solid ground.
Rosie takes a step away, but still kind of like looks at him and just nods.
What is it that you have the most faith in, Ro?
I mean, normally I'd say myself. Always been that way, I guess. The most faith in, huh? Probably my friends, I guess. I mean, listen, I mean, I'm a dick sometimes. I know I am. I can't help it. But it seems like they always come back. It's kind of fucked up definition of friendship, but they always come back.
For just a moment, you see him cock his head, and in a perfect imitation of your mother, the principal, he goes, "Language."
And I just I like kick dirt onto his sneakers. I'm like, shut up.
So, I want you to hold on to your friends. And this is the part where I'm going to start to turn things right down a little bit more. Your friends are the most reliable, sturdiest things you have in your life right now. They're probably also the most likely to hurt you. Not all of them. One or two of them. The most likely to hurt you the deepest.
Rosie mentioned somebody possibly tearing her throat out, and when Cal says that, she kind of goes like, okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Your friends and your faith in them is so important right now, because while they're the realest thing around you, almost everything else around you is some form of a lie.
Yeah, I mean, I wish I felt more surprised about that, to be honest, but honestly, that makes a lot of sense.
I'm not even who I seem to be.
And Rosie's like, her eyebrows furrow kind of, and she like looks at him kind of closer. Like, her first thought is that he's like in costume, which is dumb, but like that's like what it's like disguised. She like looks at him close.
You've got the influence of these iterations. The iterations are a framework. They're canvas. They're playground. They're controls. They're the place in which things happen to you. but they can also be the place in which you happen to things. You should be exerting your will, your power in these places. The Nexus project. It's a machine. It's a tool. It's something that's being used to manipulate. Even that's not the biggest thing. There are things beyond iterations and things beyond Nexus Project. Things that you can't even begin to fathom.
Can I add one little detail right there? Rosie would kind of like glance over, and I imagine there's a water tower, and it says Paradise, Michigan on it. And she blinks, and for a second it says Reed City, Michigan. And then she blinks again, and it's back to Paradise when he says the world is like it is.
As he talks, I would say even at one point, you blink and in faded letters it says Paradise, Michigan, but the rest of it is faded and hard to read because it's rusted and the tower leans precariously. Another time you blink, there's no water tower there. There's just tall trees. Hold on. Because this is where things turn upside down. And as he says that, his face shifts.
Ugh.
And it's Ashley Raven standing in front of you.
Ooh. Rosie backs up several steps.
With every step you take back, she takes a step forward. Never getting closer to you, but maintaining the distance, which is close proximity.
Jesus.
It's within that sphere of intimacy. It's not casual conversation. It's you were talking to your brother, or you thought.
Yeah.
So you were in that closer proximity space, and she's in that space.
And I think Rosie would continue to back up, and then realizing that it's futile, she kind of like plants her back foot and is like either like ready to be hit or like ready to hit, kind of on her toes, not backing up anymore.
There you go. Good.
How?
Stop looking for a way out. Stop looking around trying to find out how you're going to get out.
I don't understand this. How are you?
Right now, it's not even really me. It's your internalized view of who I am. Why I look a little more twisted and evil, because in your mind, I'm the enemy. But there are enemies far worse than me. And as she says this, her head suddenly goes to the side.
And nope.
Her out of this half of her body, a shadowy figure emerges from the torso up, and you see in your face a figure made of shadow that screams at the top of its lungs in your face, and then her head goes.
Oh my god. I think Rosie kind of like
I need you to make a brains
stunned.
check.
Yeah, oh great. Perfect. Sanity check, please. Oh good. It's a 2. You know, I think I'm gonna go ahead and spend 3 of those bad boys to make it a 5. A 5 feels good.
You could use your gold star and only 1 pop.
Yes, never mind. 1 pop.
I'll give you 1 back.
Reform pop. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you, Ted. I always forget about the star.
That's good. A 5 will get you what you need.
Oh, good.
The
5 felt good.
face that emerges from Ashley Raven as if trying to break free like a possessed spirit held against his will looks an awful lot like Anne Smith.
Oh my god. I think there's always been kind of like a deep-seated fear in Rosie about like the popular girls, quote unquote, because of her experiences. And I think even with Jessica, even like at the best of times, it's kind of been like waiting for the other shoe to drop almost. And so seeing this image almost like confirms something that is deep down inside of Rosie. And she just like looks and is a mixture of just angry and scared and all of it.
So are you just going to stand there staring at me, or are you going to
What
happen?
the fuck was that?
Beginning to see. And she reaches out and she shoves you.
Oh. Does she push me down, or am I
Nope,
just
she
shoved?
just does like a
Rosie kind of like stumbles back a little bit and kind of like laughs. She's like, okay. And looks around and is like, that's it. Nobody's going to hear you scream out here, bitch. And Rosie would freaking like attack.
Roll a
Rosie
fight
would
check.
just PLP tackle.
roll a fight check.
Fight.
And I will roll brawn.
Okay, girl. I got an 8. D20 brawn?
I got an 8.
So a fight ensues.
I'm going to start the narration.
Okay.
And you're going to finish it. That's how we're going to work this.
Okay.
As she shoves you, and as she's kind of laughing at you, you see Ashley Raven, but you're starting to see an Ashley Raven that looks a little bit younger and a little less in control. She shoves you and you take a swing at her. And she catches your hand. You gotta keep trying harder. And she crushes your fingers. Your bones snap. You throw another punch with your offhand. It's a little bit harder, but she manages to catch it. And this time she twists and snaps your wrist. Oh, I'm sorry. Did the pitcher's hands get broken?
And Rosie is just like, her eyes are bloodshot and she's like just in like pink in the face and sweating and like kind of crying and just like enraged. And have you officially passed the baton, or is there more?
What are you gonna do, Rosie? You can't go crying to mommy. And now I'm handing it off to you.
What a bitch. Okay. I think Rosie like has kind of backed up a step almost because she feels sick. Like her bones are stitching themselves back together, but obviously that's a taxing process, and she feels like she's gonna just puke.
Hold on a second.
Can I use my power? This is like the ideal time.
Okay, go ahead. Sorry, I was gonna give you something, but I want to see where you're gonna go with this.
I just want to use my power to try to heal myself a little bit.
So I was gonna say, kind of in the same direction where you're going.
Sure.
You don't have to exert yourself in this place.
Oh,
you will not need to roll any d6s.
Amazing.
You
So
have
just
full
like...
narrative control to use your power.
Amazing. Sick. Okay. When Rosie hears that little gaffe about her mom, she kind of like, her fists involuntarily clench. And because of she's holding her fists so tight, she can like feel that this is working fast, like almost practically instantly. Her bones are just going tick, 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 and like stitching themselves back together. And I imagine she just doesn't say anything, but just a like primal scream comes out of her. And she attacks Ashley Raven again, and just like, I want to tackle her ass this time. Like, I want to shoulder right to her fucking belly button. I want to take her down.
Yeah.
And yeah, so I can I just say I do?
Yeah, you have full narrative control.
It's for like, it's like that scene in frickin' A Christmas Story where Rosie's just on top of her, just boom, 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 and I don't know like when it stops.
I will add to that as you're hitting her, with every hit, that shadow form seems to, it's like you're knocking it loose. It's kind of like you hit it and the shadow seems to come loose for a moment, and you hit her again and it kind of gets knocked loose, and that continues until Ashley Raven looks to be the same age as you. She's missing 2 teeth. One eye is swollen shut. Her nose is broken. She's bleeding. Her face is just a mess of blood from the broken nose. And she looks up at you and just goes, "Do you feel better?"
Ooh. Rosie, like, all of a sudden catches sight of blood on her hands and just, like, kind of sits back and, like, kind of falls back off of Ashley Raven. Like, this went from rage to, like, oh shit, this isn't okay, quickly. She's kind of looking at it like there's a lot of blood on her hands. Just kind of looking at that, kind of horror-stricken.
As you stand up and you look at that, you start to feel a little woozy. And you get that sensation like you're about to pass out. And you feel like you're falling backwards. But you never actually hit the ground. You pass through the ground. Until you feel like you're literally upside down.
Oh, God.
And the blood rushes to your head. You lose consciousness. I could not have timed that musical cue better.
Wow.
And with that, I would like to ask everybody to roll me a D100.
Oh, God.
To figure out who we're going to start with back in the iteration.
Oh. Huh.
Somebody in chat call high or low real quick. 4, 7, 32, 42. Monty DL calls high. That looks like it's you, Jessica. I am going to let you set the scene, not just for yourself, Jessica, but for everybody. You were disrupted when you left. You were pulled out of school and into the Stapler House nonsense. And then you briefly found what you thought was refuge. For some of you, it was a kind of refuge. I mean, for some people, not so much. I want you to tell me, I will tell you this, you are still in that same rebooted version of school that you were in. You can tell me, is it right where you left off, 4th period after lunch? Is it later in the day? Is it earlier in the day? Is it the end of the day? Is it the next day? You tell me, and then tell me where you are.
I'm going to say an entire 24 hours have passed.
Okay.
To the minute. So it is like where they left off, but a whole day has happened.
Interesting, which means you find yourself You find yourself heading to photography class with... What do you have photography with? Anybody?
Believe. I think one of her like girly pop friends was in there, but an NPC, not one of us.
Yeah, I don't think
Meredith
you have...
is in there.
Meredith.
Yeah, Meredith is in that class. I think we established Claire was in that class too, wasn't she?
Mm-hmm.
Maybe.
That depends. When do you have... Rosie, when is your class?
My class with Claire is 4th period.
Yeah, so it's not Claire. Claire's not in there because that's 4th period.
Oh.
So, you're in photography class.
Mm-hmm.
But it's 24 hours later. How do you react to this realization of where you are and the fact that it's 24 hours later and you have every knowledge and sense and memory of everything that's just happened to you?
Yeah, I think Jessica feels a little sick. 'Cause I believe that's how she died.
Ooh, make a grit check.
Oh, what is my grit? Okay. Not the grittiest. It's a 1.
I know some people are sensitive to this, so we won't detail it, but let's just say that you're very sick.
Mm-hmm.
Aww.
Yeah, so I think you see Jessica step 1 foot into the room, look around, and run out into the bathroom.
I don't think with that one, I'm going to say you don't even make it into the bathroom. You turn around and you hurl, and the one shining light is Meredith was just walking in. And Meredith...
Do I throw up on Meredith?
Yes, you throw up on Meredith.
Oh, God.
Meredith screams and runs to the bathroom.
Oh, boy. Yeah, so Jessica is going to, like, in horror, just scream also. Like not scream, but just, like, throw herself backwards in, like, this fearful yell as she walks back. She looks at the photography room now that she's created a scene. And then she's gonna chase after Meredith.
All right. Yeah, you run to... I'm trying to remember as I look up the map. I believe photography was in the corner. I think you're relatively close, like almost across the hall from the bathroom. If not, it's just down the hall. So yeah, you're able to chase after her. And I think you enter the bathroom to Meredith crying as she's grabbing... this is the 80s, so it's not paper towels. It's one of those blue cloth hand towel things that's hanging down, the kind that kind of ratchets. And she's got it kind of pulled over to one of the sinks as she's sitting there and trying to clean off her front and ratchet. And as she's crying, she turns as you walk in and she just kind of goes, "Oh, haven't you done enough?"
Jessica, she's mortified. This is the worst thing. But Jessica doesn't really say anything other than, I'm going to imagine she probably, I know I did this in high school, like you wear the clothes that your parents would approve of, and then as soon as you get to school, you take it off and then you have like the tank top underneath or whatever it is. So I imagine that in her bag she has like a sweater or like a long sleeve that she wore in the morning. And she's, all you see is like Meredith trying to like clean this up, and then you just see an arm just like reach over and hand Meredith this shirt. And all you hear is Jessica, "I'm sorry, I'm really sick."
She kind of looks hesitantly at you for a moment and then takes the sweater, and then she kind of goes, no shit. Did you have to be sick all over me? Jeez.
It's not like I aimed for you.
You've been aiming for me all... Never mind. And she just kind of rolls her eyes, and she looks like she wanted to say something. She caught herself before she said it.
Yeah, I don't know if Jessica would push her. This is like... she feels really bad for Meredith, actually.
Bitch, I puked on you. Now what secrets are you keeping?
You know what?
From
I'm
me?
going to roll.
First I broke your hand, then I puked on you.
Hashtag hand stuff.
Meredith is a popular kid, which means she has... I'm going to see if she can hold herself back.
Ooh.
Oh no. I mean, oh no, as in oh no, she doesn't hold herself back. She looks like she's holding her tongue for just a moment. And then she goes, never mind. And then she goes, no, wait, not never mind. Why is it that every time this happens, you're gunning for me?
What are you talking about?
Every time things change, somehow I end up in your crosshairs. Last time you broke my hand. You threw up on me today.
Wait, whoa, hold on.
There was the time you hit me with a baseball. There was the time that somebody that looked an awful lot like you, the two of you ganged up on me. There was the Halloween incident. Every time.
Wait, how do you know all of this?
How do I know all of what?
What you just said. Every time this happens again. The sentence that you said, how do you know it?
It's just how it is. Every time school starts, we're here. We go through and we go to class, and we get ready for the homecoming dance, and we get ready for classes every day, and every day, somehow, you and your friends end up happening. If I didn't know any better, it seems almost like every time this happens, it's like somehow you and your friends are the center of attention. It's like we're all background actors in a play you're the stars of, and it's a really boring play.
Jessica's like,
you,
I think Oak called them something when he's playing his like D&D game. Like an NPC or something like that. But like, Meredith, how do you know about these iterations? Or whatever, these things that keep happening again, they keep happening again to us too. We have no say in what happens.
What do you mean iterations? Like, I don't...
You said when this happens again, we did oh, Jessica's like rubbing her temples.
Instant migraine. She's
Yeah.
dehydrated. Like,
Well, yeah, I mean, she just threw up. She needs a toothbrush and a Gatorade. So Meredith or Jessica's like, Meredith, I need you to talk to someone. I need you to talk with my friend Oak. He's little, but he's smart.
Is he one of the little kids that you hang around with for who knows what reason?
Yes. He can explain things better than I can. I really don't know what's going on. But I really am sorry. I don't mean for any of this to happen to you.
Well, she
Please, just come with me.
She pulls on the sweater. I don't know, maybe next time I'll get to throw up on you.
Well, you did, you almost had... Oh, you did punch me too, so... I think we're a little... But she's like, come on, we gotta go find Oak.
Now?
I'm sure if I say I'm sick, who's the teacher?
Mr. McDowell.
He'll give us a sick pass.
I wouldn't even worry about him. If he gives us any trouble, just tell him we're on our period. He doesn't want to have anything to do with that.
Yes! Unlock the power.
Very fair. This is when it begins. So yeah, then Jessica is going to lead Meredith out, and we're gonna go find Oak.
Oak is in gym with Coop.
That's awesome.
I imagine, like, when they get there, Jessica just, like, opens the gym door. It's just like, Oak! And, like, you just see, like, she's trying to be as, like, sneaky as possible to see if he can, like, slip away with whatever drill or whatever they're doing.
Jake, what's on the gym agenda today?
Oh, I was going to say, if you'll allow it, when you come in, Coop and Oak are easy to find because we're off to the side. It's volleyball time. And what is it? Oak is helping Coop tend to his bloody nose. I'll explain more about that when it's our turn.
Yes.
Perfect. I love it.
Yeah, I think you look around, Jessica, and you see the two of them. Excuse me. You see the two of them off on the side, well away from the others. There's a small section of bleachers that have been pulled out. And you said it was Oak tending to Coop's bloody nose?
Yep.
Yeah, so you can head over to them with Meredith, Jessica.
Okay. Oak, you're smart. Meredith remembers the other school time that we just had. She remembers that, well, she, like, uses quotations, that I broke her hand, and she remembers all of this stuff, but I can't explain it to her.
Okay, whoa. Okay, that a lot of information. Really short period of time. Okay. Hey, Coop, tilt your head back just a little more.
Don't worry about me. I've got it.
Okay.
It's super weird.
Good job.
Like Meredith remembers everything from the recess.
You see, Jessica reaches into her bag and pulls out a tampon and gives it to Coop. Stick this in your nose.
Oh, wow. That's like Claire had. The nosebleed stoppers.
I think Rosie's jammed up one of Oak's nosebleeds early on.
That's true. That's true. Has.
Universal.
So I think this is fascinating for Oak in a moment. Like, he's trying to tend to Coop, but immediately when presented with, like, control opportunity, like, of science stuff. This is the control. This is the one NPC that we've never had a moment for. And he's like, okay, okay. So what iterations do you know about, Meredith? I know that's a weird word to use right now, but which ones are you familiar with?
Is that why you use that word iteration? She looks at Jessica. Was the nerdy
That's
kid?
what everyone keeps calling it.
Yeah.
I don't know about iterations. I just know that we keep happening over and over.
How
again.
many times has Jessica? How many times has Jessica beaten you up or done something to you that has been
She doesn't always
inappropriate in some way?
She doesn't always. There was at least once or twice that I got a shot in. Today she threw up on me.
It's an accident.
Whatever.
Ew.
Up on her?
Whatever. Apparently, in these iterations or whatever, my job is to get happened to by Jessica. But somehow you guys are always there too. You're there, and you're there, and she kind of looks at you, Coop. Sometimes you've got weird creatures with you.
That's why. Okay, so
See, doesn't it sound like she knows more than we do? She referenced something about Halloween at
It's
another
like-
time.
I don't know, you asked how many times.
We haven't done Halloween yet.
Not this time. It's... I don't know, dozens?
you see like Oak just stops for a minute, but he's like, it's an odd thing because he shouldn't be smiling. He should not be smiling, but he's smiling in this moment because it's like he's solving a puzzle. And he immediately goes to his notebook, which happens to be sitting on the bleacher, and he goes, okay, is it just you, or like do other kids in the school retain this much?
What do you mean? Like, remember stuff?
Yeah, like remember stuff. Because like, sometimes, at least from my recollection, nobody before this remembered the stuff we did. It was like complete, sorry for the term, but it was like a complete reset. Like you took a computer and you turned the power off and then you reset the button and then the game started over
Yeah,
again.
that's kind of what it's like. It's like it gets reset every time.
Yeah, but see, here's the thing. In a reset, the other people who are not the player forget everything. And the game starts over again, and we play through the scenarios all over again.
Oh, quite a few of us remember. We have a club.
There is a club?
It's like Christmas for Oak right now.
Full on, like, I imagine it's full on, like, Kermit the Frog, arms flailing, like, super happy. There's a club!
What's your club's name?
What's the club's name? Oh my god.
I must know.
I don't know the name of the club.
We'll take solicitations from people in the crowd here in the chat.
Yeah, I tried to come up with a clever name really quickly, and
Doghammer has just so graciously
Remember Club?
suggested the Remember Club. Thank you, Craig.
Remembers
oh,
only.
I was just gonna say that. Remembers only. Same wavelength.
Remembers only, you
yes.
bastards.
She's, as soon as As soon as Craig said "Remember Club," the first thing I thought of was a Remembers Only jackets. Oh man, Monty DL says time and time again. Barry
Don't you forget
says,
about me,
"Don't you
Club."
forget about me." That's their theme song. Don't you? All right.
Forget about me.
Yeah, she says, "Yeah, we call ourselves the Remembers Only." It's
Meredith,
I don't get it.
I just want to start by saying I apologize for whatever we have done to you in the X amount of times that it has happened. But also, like, this is the coolest thing that has happened in my day. I have literally, how do I put it? I have lost a girlfriend, gone to a haunted house, died, then other stuff. It just feels like a real dream. I played D&D with my friends for like hours and it felt awesome. And then I played guitar for the first time, which that kicked ass. But I just
She
it's
turns.
a fever
She
dream.
just turns to Jessica and goes, "See, it's always about what you guys do."
How many people are in this club?
It changes. Not sometimes there's more people. And just so you know, kid, and she looks right at you, Oak, it's not always fond memories. Do you know how many times he's killed Nathan Floyd?
Oh.
And points at Coop.
Oh God.
What?
Coop, when you said you killed a kid, I didn't think that was real, man.
I didn't think it was either, because it didn't really happen.
Oh, it happened. Again and again and again. Nathan's in there, Holly Nash, Brad Dawson, Refrigerator Terry, Rita Wilson,
Wait, is Dallas Rogers in that?
Dallas
Please tell me.
Rogers,
Retcon.
Robbie
Retcon.
Diamond.
Nathan Floyd can't be in that club because he didn't recognize me.
Ooh.
He said he didn't
God
recognize you.
Oh.
Okay, this is a lot. Would it be I feel rude asking this. Would it be okay if I set in on a club meeting? Would that be triggering to any of you?
I don't know how the others would take that. I mean, for whatever reason, like I was telling her, you guys seem to be the reason for all of this, so I guess you can do what you want to do. But if you're coming, I'm warning Nathan.
He like looks to Coop. I mean, if you want to come with me, that's cool, dude. Like, and please feel free to warn whoever you like. But I promise we're not gonna. Okay, I will say this: we will not intentionally do things to you that will. I don't know what will happen, man. Like, I should know what will happen, but I don't know what will happen. So it's like,
I don't know, Oak. Maybe I shouldn't go, because Nathan might choke on a cookie or something.
Oh, God. He's doomed.
okay, we leave Coop. Coop. You're right. Probably smart. I'll go. Jess, you want to go with me? Like, that's cool. Like, what if we go? Two of us. Like, what if we go?
Are there anyone in our group that the club doesn't hate?
Yeah, is there anybody that you're like pretty that's a acceptable person? Anybody?
I mean, hate's a pretty strong thing. It's not
Okay, who are you not afraid
It's
of?
not-
How about that?
I don't know how to explain this to you, but we're not afraid of you. We don't hate you. We just don't understand you. You don't understand why you are, the rest of you are the center of attention. We don't understand why sometimes you happen to us in, more often than not, it's not great ways.
Okay.
But also
okay, well,
sometimes in the middle of talking to us, one of us or more of us, you just disappear. And then a moment later it's again.
We don't understand what's going on either.
yeah,
So,
it's complicated.
but
Now
you
that
know,
kind of scares
the-
me. If you don't know what's going on.
we don't. We really don't. But maybe now that we all know, that each other knows, maybe we can, I don't know, like talk, work together. We don't want to keep being the people that happen to you.
That'd be great if you would stop happening to us.
Meredith, have you ever played like a video game before?
I mean,
Are you asking that because she's a girl? That's sexist.
No, that's not what I meant. I'm sorry. Oh God.
Coop
Oh
is an
no.
ally.
If that came off like that, I'm so sorry. I got an idea. I'm thinking through things,
I play
and you can
games,
see that like Oak is like.
I like Mario and Paperboy and
Okay.
Boy and his Blob.
Okay. What about Dragon Slayer? Have you ever played Dragon Slayer before?
Natural 20 on a charm check. If you want to try to contest that and you think you can beat a 20, you can find out if she's lying or not when she goes, no.
Meredith Haas has the top score on the Dragon's Lair game wherever it is.
Oh,
It says like
MEH. Like
yep.
MLH.
Is her middle name Lynn? Because
No.
of course it is.
I feel like it's Lee, but like LEIGH.
Yeah. Yep. Yep.
Yeah, you have. Okay, cool. So, like in Dragon Slayer, you play as the playable character, and then you have to try to go save the princess. At least I think I'm making this correct. We are the playable ones. And that would mean you and
She
the
turns
rest
and
of
looks.
them.
She turns and looks at Jessica. She goes, "Don't tell me you're the princess."
Jessica does kind of flip her hair.
Well,
It's like, well, I mean, if the shoe fits.
Well, if you and your friends are gonna want to talk with us, you better make it sooner than later. And she points over to a corner of the gym, and she kind of points up, and you see up in the rafters, you see blue energy cut through a couple of just some of the smaller like cross supports on the ceiling, and you see just one little piece go.
oh,
We see those every time things start to, well, when it's about to happen again.
They're happening like super fast.
You know what? And she kind of looks like she's trying to think of something for a minute. I don't know. I don't have a sense for how fast things are moving. We just go about our days. We meet once or twice a week. We talk about what we remember, and then it happens again. Sometimes I don't even remember the first few weeks of school, and suddenly it's Halloween or Christmas break. Anyway, yeah, we just know that when we see those, it's not long before a reset, as you said.
We gotta all talk together.
Yeah, I think it's time. We should try to gather up everybody as soon as we can. And I think he's gonna look at the crack. How far away is the crack from?
It's up at the rafters. It's like
way up there.
Yeah,
okay.
30
Wouldn't
30
be
some
able to.
feet.
Wouldn't even be able to reach it.
No.
Okay. So I think Oak will definitely look. After school today, Coop. You thinking it's a good idea?
Only if Nathan's okay with it.
Well, no, I didn't. Maybe. Well, I'm saying our group, we should get together because I don't.
Oh yeah, totally. We should go to Maniacs.
Yeah. Pizza and brainstorming. Sounds like a plan.
As you say, it sounds like a plan. We're gonna cut to Rosie.
Cool.
Where you at?
What hour is it?
I don't know.
What hour does Coop and Oak have?
I guess
gym?
this was sort of in the middle of fourth period.
Oh, fourth period. Okay. I'm an American Lit with Mrs. Whitman. And apparently Jimmy and Claire are in there, question mark. Last time they were not.
Yes. Jimmy is there. And he does not have broken legs. Or arms.
Yay!
Whichever it was legs.
Yes, his legs.
And Claire is there.
Awesome. I'm still a little freaked out about Claire kissing Laz, and so I am really trying to focus on the book that we're reading, which is Lord of the Flies. And there's a lot of very graphic descriptions of children beating up on other children, and you see Rosie kind of white knuckle the book a couple of times and then realize what she's doing and stop.
Make a brains check, please.
Brains. My thing. Just kidding. It's not. I got a 5.
It's a good 5 minutes or so before you realize that during this reading time, you get the sense that somebody is watching you. And glancing over, you see Claire holding her copy of Lord of the Flies in front of her. Very pointedly not reading the book, but staring over it at you.
What is her expression like? Is she what is
I'm not sure how to describe it. The best I can say is once you make eye contact, she just kind of goes.
And
I guess
Rosie...
haughty, confident.
Haughty. Oh.
She just gives you a little bit of a raised eyebrows, like,
Oh,
Like
this
she's one-upping you
bitch.
somehow.
Oh my
Smug, there you
God.
go. Thank you.
Smug.
That's
a great
exactly the word
for
I
it.
wanted.
Smug. Rosie kind of like looks over at her and just kind of glares for a second. And I think that she just kind of like shakes her head and looks back at her book. There's nothing we can do about this right now.
On the other side of you, Jimmy leans over.
Oh God.
He goes, "Hey, do you need to borrow my knife?
Shut up. And
Cut the tension between you two."
it's nothing. Don't worry about it.
It's nothing.
And Rosie shrugs, just like, it's nothing.
What did she do this time? Why she got you all up in a tizzy?
Okay, so in this iteration, is it fair to say that Rosie and Laz have never dated? Like in this go around? Is that the vibe? Is that what I'm searching my memories and finding?
The only evidence you have to support that is that in the morning, Claire very confidently came up and kissed him and called him babe.
You don't have any memories of what's transpired.
Yeah, you had no additional memories that happened, so you're kind of in
Wait, that's not right. We all had, except for Laz, we all have false memories implanted of Laz
That
and Claire
he
having a
linked.
relationship.
Yes.
that's right.
That they dated over the summer.
That's right.
Thank
Thank you,
but Rosie,
note taker.
Rosie does not remember anything other than that, so she just kind of like, come to think of it, I don't really, I guess I don't really know. It's general bullshit,
Well, if you're gonna stare anybody, stare at me.
And I imagine that Rosie kind of like reaches over like under his desk. The desks are pretty close, and she just like stomps on his toe a little bit with her toe.
Give me a quick brains check as you do that.
Oh, brains, good. I'm so good at it. Oh, I got a 6.
As you do that, he kind of reflexively, like he senses it coming, kind of pulls away. But he reaches out and kind of he grabs your leg just above the knee, far enough up that it's familiar, and gives a squeeze. And with that brains check, you remember, oh, you and Jimmy are dating.
We're dating.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Well, he kissed me. Like, so that's pretty evident. Either that or it's pretty fucking fresh of Jimmy. But anyway, so yeah. So Rosie just kind of like, yeah, Rosie just smiles and shrugs and kind of doesn't remember why she was pissed. Keeps reading her book.
I would like you to roll a D100.
Oh boy. I am sensing good things coming. Here we go. It's a 33.
If I roll a 28 to a 38, happen. 73, nothing happens.
That scared me for a second. I saw the 3 and I just was instantly thinking 30. Okay.
There's a soft peal of thunder, a low rumble of thunder outside, and it starts to rain. And that's when we cut to Billy. Billy, it's 4th period, which means you are
in chemistry with Laz.
In chemistry with Laz. So
So do we have memories of the last 24 hours? Do we know, okay, all of this shit just happened, and in a blink, 24 hours went by?
You know that it's 24 hours later, But you don't know what happened in those 24 hours. You and
Okay.
Lass are sitting at your desk in lab, and the Van Houten twins are still absent.
They were in lunch yesterday. Now they're not here today.
Maybe
What is-
something happened to him.
Sorry, both of you said something at once, and I didn't hear what either of you said.
Go ahead, say it again, Jeremy.
I just said maybe something happened to him, like in the day that we're missing.
I mean, it's entirely possible. I don't know what to do with all of this changes. It doesn't make any sense. Like, so many things are different, and I want to know why.
Yeah, I know it's gonna sound mildly crazy, but there was a voice that spoke to me when I was listening to music earlier. It told me that we should start like using our powers more, to, like, change things in these iterations, like take control.
Just to play a little bit of devil's advocate here. There's a lot of voices that we've encountered, or things that we've encountered. Did this thing say who it was?
No, absolutely refused to, as a matter of fact.
So could that be potentially Nexus trying to get us to do more with our powers so that they can continue to experiment on us, or whatever this is?
Maybe, possibly. It's a direction, though. I don't know. Otherwise, it feels like we're just kind of spinning wheels, you know?
We've gone to an orchard before.
Yeah.
What if we keep going back? What if we demand answers?
I mean, we certainly got, enough clout with, the powers and stuff that several of us have. Maybe we can make them listen to us this time.
Been playing defensive for quite a while. Even in a game of football, you gotta change sides every now and again.
To be honest, I'm getting real sick of just waiting around for shit to happen to us. All right. Well, I think I heard that we're supposed to be getting together at Maniacs later.
That's what everybody's doing.
Maybe we should bring it up to the group, see what everybody else thinks.
So, speaking of what everyone thinks, what's your opinion on this whole flip flop? I kind of like do a shifty eye and be like, you and Claire?
Oh man, I don't fucking know. Blindsided is the best way that I can think to describe it. Like, I had no idea what the hell's going on.
Like, you don't have any recollection of fostering a relationship with her. It just is there.
With Claire? Fuck no. I hate her and she's hated me. I was
Oh,
forced to
clearly.
like work on the stupid homecoming like dance stuff with her. It was miserable.
Right. Here that's weeks away. Something happened. Like that's gotta be messing with your head.
I don't remember any kind of relationship with her other than the one that I just talked about. I'm not close with her. She just walked up and kissed me. It's fucking weird. Besides, like I love Rosie, and that's not going away. So
You gotta do about it.
you mean what am I gonna do about it? Gotta make
Well-
Rosie understand that it doesn't mean anything to me. I don't even know what the hell's going on, and if Claire doesn't get the fucking hint, then I'll say it out loud if I have to.
It's gonna get messy. They're gonna end things with Claire, and Rosie's gonna end things with Jimmy, and
Wait.
you guys
Rosie's
no.
with Jimmy?
You motherfucker.
you didn't see that this morning or yesterday morning.
No. What? Fuck. This place sucks.
You maniacal bastard. Incredible. Well done.
Turnabout's fair play, bitches.
Oh, absolutely. I'm proud of you, dude. Gold star.
So you're like, yeah, Jimmy basically did like the whole thing that Claire did. So like, it's gonna
No, I don't
it's gonna look really, really weird and bad if like you just call splitsies both of you and then you were together.
I give a fuck what anybody else thinks.
Well, just pointing it out there, man. Just trying to.
Half of this school has written me off anyways. Like, I give a shit. Look, I'm gonna tell her how I feel, and if she doesn't feel that way anymore, then, I guess I'll figure it out after that. If she'd rather, be with Jimmy, then that's... I mean, it'll suck, but it'll be what it is,
Just,
But me and Claire, no. Fuck no.
I love that in the
I'd
midst
rather
of
be back in Stapler House.
I love in the midst of all of everything that's been happening in these conversations and revelations, Billy and Laz
world
are
is
talking
ending.
about relationship stuff.
We are teenagers.
Yeah.
That
Yes.
we're
Always
teenagers,
caring
and-
about the one thing that means the most to them.
We have
You're right.
superpowers.
No,
We're
I'm slowly
outside
turning
time
the
and
knife.
space.
Oh, yeah. 100%. You're driving a wedge.
Yes. That was a stroke of genius. Rosie,
I knew it was coming. Good job.
Rosie and Jimmy.
Oh, man.
So, while everybody is having their conversations or making their plans, and eventually it sounds like everybody was in agreement that you're all going to meet at Maniacs. It almost seems like at this point Maniacs is the hangout where when you're not sure if there's any plans, you just stop by Maniacs to see if anybody's there,
Just to see.
kind of
Yeah.
thing. At some point when you're alone, Coop, you hear in your head, "Do the unexpected."
I'm sorry, can you repeat that? In a stage whisper?
Do sorry. Do the unexpected.
That's the Spanish
God?
English.
You there, God? It's me, Coop.
There's no answer.
That was weird.
So,
Coop doesn't show up to Maniacs. He's doing what's unexpected. I
would
would not
like-
want pizza
Not a
today.
chance.
I would
Not a
like
chance.
you all to, on your own, over the next 5 minutes or 2 minutes or whatever, start arriving at Maniacs in whatever order. We're not going to go to a full break because some of you have ducked away, but I have to duck away for just a moment.
Oh my God.
So we're going to do I'm going to throw it to you guys to start arriving and having conversations. I'll be back in a moment.
Dad's leaving us alone.
Quick, grab the keys.
We have to play nice at the table, kids. No one flinging food across the table now.
All right,
I am-
so
Yeah,
this is
you-
no Jimmy, no Claire meeting, right? This is just us.
I mean, Jimmy
Yeah, I can
won't
help
come in, probably. Honestly, like, I would say Rosie's probably the last one to get there. She's taking her time. For some reason.
Oh, Coop's probably first. Getting the booth, ordering the breadsticks, you know.
DZ called Luigi by his first name. He's like, Luigi, my man, it's been a day.
Coop's like, I need the
Luigi!
reg.
The usual.
I would
Luigi.
dare say, like, Billy probably grabbed whoever was ready and available right after school, and Vanson drove us over to Maniac rather than having to walk. I mean, I know it's not terribly far, but you've got the vehicle.
I think
Vanson.
Rosie does not go with Vanson. And when she shows up to Maniacs, you can see that she's just saying goodbye to Jimmy. They kind of walk downtown together, and he's got to go somewhere else in town. So he offered to walk her down here, and she accepted. And I would probably imagine he gives her a little peck on the cheek before he starts walking away. And Rosie just comes into the
That guy
Maniacs
just
like
gave
nothing
Rosie a
happened.
smoochie.
Yeah, Laz has
Rosie-
got to be somewhere where he can see that. I'm sure.
He
Maybe he
very
was.
possibly.
He was
So is
maybe
he
even
seeing
like
it from
waiting.
inside or seeing it from like external, outside of?
I think maybe he like stepped outside to smoke. So he's like, leaning against like the side of the building or something, the front of the building. This is way before like the 25-foot from the door of a business rule. So and he's just kind of leaning against the building with his skateboard and smoking, and he sees this exchange, and he very quickly kind of averts his attention to try to make it look like he's not trying to spy on this situation.
And I think so he's pretty close to the door, Laz is.
Yeah, I
Rosie
think so.
kind of, and I don't know if like the memories are leaving her or what, but Rosie kind of just walks up confidently, like she doesn't think it's a problem because you're dating Claire. You've been dating Claire all summer. And she's like, "Hey, Laz, is everybody in there?" I mean, I know I was late. I don't think I was that late.
Yeah, no, I mean, I think everybody's here.
And Rosie kind of like looks and like, okay.
I was hoping maybe we could talk.
Rosie kind of like leans. She had her hand on the handle, and I imagine had opened the door like half a jingle of the little bell, and then she kind of shuts the door, and she's like, Well, this doesn't sound like the ordinary bullshit. It looks like you got something to say. And she leans on the wall and just kind of like chuckles.
Yeah. So Billy kind of mentioned something earlier, and it kind of made me think that maybe with how everything is like resetting and switching around, that like some of us have different memories of things that have happened recently.
Like over the summer?
Yeah, like over the summer.
Like you dating Claire all summer.
See, that's exactly what I was. It's stupid, and he remembers it one way, and I remember it a very different way, and I don't know. What do you remember of the summer?
And I think, okay. Would I probably can I like make a brains check of some sort to kind of decide, like to help me pick? Because like, I don't know if I remember like which summer, like the summer that was iteration 1 or the summer where Laz is dating Claire or...
Yeah. Go ahead and make a brains check. What?
Okay. Just realized I didn't remember if I had decided which was good, high or low. I got a 7. So, Jake, do you think that means I remember us dating, or just he and Claire dating, or what? What does a 7 of 8 mean?
Well, it's a 7 on a D8. I would say that's a pretty good roll. That. Whoa, hold on a second. I'm having...
Chad! Jesus!
What? What'd you just yell Chad for?
Chad just
Because
filled all
Chad-
6 squares for like 1
It
second.
became
I'm
being
It
trying
was
to-
like the
Chad.
glorious Oz.
I don't know how I turned into
It's-
a god on stream for a second.
It was Oz the Great and Terrible for like, oh my god,
like
it's back!
that.
It's. I went the wrong direction trying to adjust the window. I just noticed I was trying to be subtle about the fact that somehow the windows got skewed because I can see the bottom of a frame above Jeremy's head, and I was trying to fix it. Instead, I made Zoom be the whole screen,
Yep.
which
Yep.
turned it into
Yep.
like a
Yep. Sorry.
dystopian sci-fi oak thing.
That was
Just-
smoke coming through
Yeah.
in the transmission.
Yeah, right.
The smoke.
Listen carefully. I don't have much time.
Sorry. Anyway,
So,
I would say the
which
7 is
dating
good
scenario
enough.
do I remember?
The 7 is good enough that if you're thinking hard on this, you can remember whichever you want.
Okay. We're really passing the buck here. I think Rosie, like, as Laz is saying that, what do you remember? She does flash back to her talk with Cal. And it says you have to hang on to your friends. And as she kind of like shakes her head and she looks back at Laz, and then he said the ones that are closest might hurt you. And she just kind of like looks at Laz for a second, and she kind of shrugs, and she's like, I'm remembering 2 different things, Laz. And I don't know how to explain that. Claire thinks you're dating, clearly.
Honestly, I don't
Now
care
I-
what she thinks.
Well, I mean, you can't blindside her like that, Laz. That's... She won't understand it. It might break her brain or something. I don't know how this iteration works.
I can't pretend to like her. Not like that, especially. I already like you like that. Like Rosie, I don't know what all you remember about which version of things, but I love you. And if I'm not wrong, you love me too, or at least you did. And
again, very similar. There's like this flash of like little moments between them, like throughout the iteration. And I think Rosie just like hugs you like so suddenly, and it almost surprises you. I bet you drop your cigarette. She would just like hug you, and it's almost like she's deciding, like she doesn't kiss you. Like you feel like if she were like 100% certain about this, she would kiss you, and she's not doing that. It's almost like a boxer clenching. Like she's still trying to make up her mind almost. And she kind of pulls back and she like looks at you and she just like,
all right, so in this moment, I imagine Billy's been kind of like, sitting in the booth, kind of like, having the conversation, doing this, but keeping his eye through like the glass, window. And as you guys kind of get closer and whatnot, go to hug, that's when, Billy gets up, opens the door. Hey, you guys coming in?
Uh-oh.
Oh, I thought that was Rosie going like, hold on a minute.
That would have been boss.
Oh, that was scary. Totally lost the last thing Billy said. Can you hear me?
Yeah. So Billy
Sorry
opens the door as you guys are getting closer and possibly coming to some kind of reconciliation. And he's like, hey, you guys coming in?
And I think Rosie just kind of like drops her arms. If she was holding on to you at all, she kind of like doesn't spring away, but just sort of her arms drop, and she's like, yeah, just a second.
Yeah.
And she kind of looks back at Laz, and I think she kind of shrugs and walks away from him into Maniacs. Rosie doesn't really know what to do here.
In this case, I think
Laz takes a moment afterwards, and then he'll join the group.
Okay, I was just saying, I think in this moment, the camera follows Rosie inside, and so we'll see Laz take a moment through the window before following inside, and you're all together in Maniacs at a table.
Oh my god, you guys, it's about time. We've got big news.
Yeah, like crazy.
Guys, there is a whole club dedicated to people who remember the shit.
Wait. There's like other people who remember everything?
Yeah, like a bunch, like Meredith, and then she lists off the rest of them.
Can we get those names again?
Meredith, Dallas Rogers,
Refrigerator
Nathan,
Terry.
Refrigerator Terry,
Brad Dawson, Rita Wilson, Nathan Floyd, Holly Nash,
Do they
Robbie
all have to
Diamond.
be assholes?
Other than Robbie or anybody else on my list?
What do you mean on your list?
Part of the Algernon Club, I think, is what.
The other powered teens.
Oh.
That was the first iteration of Charles Xavier's School for Gifted Youngsters.
Algernon.
the other powered teens.
The OPT?
Are you down with OPT?
The anti.
Yeah, you know me.
Charles was going, no, that sucks.
No, Robbie's the only one. Sorry. I didn't understand what you meant from that. But yeah, no.
Sure.
Robbie's the only one from the other list. The other people.
So Robbie is, sinking in across several spectrums here. I gotta make sure I keep proper tabs on him.
But yeah, they know, and they know even more than what we remember.
Yeah, they had Halloween and Christmas.
Oh. Well,
Christmas.
so like, are you saying they've like gone through and then like started over? Is that?
More times than we even remember.
Meredith suggested they've done the dance a couple times too.
Did she say whether Jessica won in all the dances?
Well, that just goes without saying, Rosie.
I think Rosie laughs, kind of finally feeling a little bit settled now that we're all together.
Hey, I would like, not Jessica. No, I'll allow Jessica too. I would like everybody to make a brains check real quick.
I imagine Rosie maybe phrased it as, did Jessica win all the dances? I got a 6.
1.
A 1.
I
6?
got a 3, y'all. I got a 3.
Ooh, Billy's so brainy.
15.
I exploded for a 9.
Congratulations.
Yay!
I also exploded for an 8.
Hey.
So Jessica, Laz, and Billy. As Jessica says, that goes without saying. A couple booths over, there's somebody seated there that you can only see the back of. But as Jessica says that, this person goes,
Jessica looks over at this person. like side eye, you know?
you just see what looks to be, as near as you can tell, an adult, slightly graying, short, dark hair that's slightly graying around the temples and around the neatly trimmed back of the head, but you cannot see the front side.
Jessica leans I imagine back in her seat enough to get in line eye shot of this guy. You know, it's really kind of weird to listen in on people's conversations. Don't you have anything better to do?
Without turning around, the person says, I do not. I am here to observe.
Oh my God.
Jessica looks at the others what the heck?
I'm like, I don't think he speaks English.
What are you
Is it-
trying to observe?
You see, again, from behind, as they pick up a glass of water, ice water, and they take a slow sip. And then they turn around so that they're kind of putting their arm up on the back of the booth as they turn to face you, and Captain Edouard de Troyes turns and says, You and your friend so very interesting. I am just keeping an eye.
No, thank you.
We're here to just pay attention to a bunch of kids.
Mm-mm.
You make it sound so creepy when you say it that way.
How would you
Well-
say it then?
Hey,
Yeah, how would you
wait.
say it? Not creepy.
Y'all,
He's the boat captain. How is he here?
y'all- you were. Do I now, Jake? I can't remember in this moment, so I need you to help me remember a little bit. Does Oak remember Hines, or when Hines left, he has no recollection of that? So would he
No,
have
because
recollection?
Edward kept men in
Edward
blacking
too?
you.
Oh, that's right. Thank you.
Right.
But would I remember Edward?
No, because he kept
From,
men in
like,
blacking
the
you.
light-
No,
So
you don't remember him
one
from.
time you encountered him.
No, you don't
Gotcha.
remember him from the
From
Yeah,
the
from the-
restaurant, you remember him from the beach.
Yeah,
The
you would
beach,
only
yeah.
remember him as the captain of the Evangeline.
You were. How are you here right now?
Well, that's the question, like you have not encountered others from this.
Look, I understand it's weird, but like,
How does he put it? He like looks and he's like,
Yeah, but everybody else we encountered were from the 7. You're not special.
I would not go so far as to say
dang,
that.
Coop.
Going for the throat, but
Jessica like nods approvingly of the sass.
Are you saying that you would not like to have me here?
I think that's what he's saying. All right.
Well, it depends. Whose side are you on?
It is not.
There's like a bunch of teams, man.
It is not black and white.
Maybe a better
Okay,
question
sir.
is, who are you observing for?
I am observing for myself. I understand how that sounds. If it would make you feel better, I will go.
You will go and not watch us anymore, right? Gotta be very specific here.
He reaches over and picks up a pepperoni off of the remnants of pizza that's on his table, pops it in his mouth, and takes a drink. As he starts to stand up, and he kind of brushes any crumbs that might be on his clothing as he says, "If you're going to have your conversation, you should do so quickly. You don't have much time. Maybe
Why?
next
What's
time,
about to happen?
It is beyond your ability to affect whether or not it is going to happen.
Are
Unless
you
you
with
take drastic
Nexus or the
measures."
FBI?
What was that?
Are you with Nexus or the FBI?
The Nexus is a trivial organization. The FBI, they overstep their boundaries. They are very limited in scope.
Okay, third question. Algernon.
Do you
How
want me
do
to
you
leave, or
feel?
do you want me to stay here and answer your question?
Algernon, how do you
Leave.
feel? Must know.
Hearing your firm question, but hearing more than one of your friends say leave, Edward says, "Maybe next time we meet, you'll be more receptive to my presence." And he gives a slight bow, and he turns and walks outside. You hear the jingle of the bell. He stops, centered in the window where you see the word maniacs in reverse. And he kind of looks at his watch again, and he looks inside at any of you that might still be looking at him, and he just goes, and he walks away.
Weirdo.
Jake,
Good
I don't know
riddance.
what's going to happen, but maybe he's right. So apart from, people remembering what's going on, Laz is hearing voices.
Rosie kind of
Voice.
turns and looks concerned.
There was a voice that talked to me through my record player, and it told me that we should try to take more control over the various repeats, the iterations. We should use our powers more. We should exert control.
Hey, that's kind of what the voice that I heard told me.
Jesus, are all of us hearing voices? Am
Well,
I
it's
the only
just-
one that's not?
Look, it was just like a sentence. Someone
Did-
said in my head, "Do the unexpected."
Did the voice identify itself?
That's not how it works, Billy.
Coop, did somebody hand you a little piece of paper with a dot of liquid on it for you to put on your tongue before you heard this voice? Just out
Why
of
would
curiosity.
somebody do that? That's weird.
Okay, that's at least good to know. I'm not listening to that creepy
wait
old
a minute.
man.
No. Wait.
Only reason I bring it up is the Nexus has been trying to control us in a lot of different ways. So I would be skeptical to just listen to voices, to just do what an unidentified voice tells us to do, because maybe they're trying to control us that way.
Is that why you haven't acknowledged yet that I was trying to talk to you before the end of the last version or reset?
What are you talking about?
I reached out into your mind, Billy.
I don't recall you reaching out to me.
Rosie has a goopy
Well-
piece of pizza in her hand, and part of it goes splotch as she's just like frozen watching this
I
scene.
know that you were talking to Algernon, and I heard some of what you were saying. And I think I know why Templeton isn't around in this reset. Because I heard him too. But I called out to you, Billy. I used my power and I called out.
You thought I was talking
Successfully. Might I add. I didn't pooch it.
You thought I was talking to Algernon?
I know you were talking to Algernon. That's
I
how
haven't-
my power works.
I haven't seen Algernon since he was serving us breakfast at Oak's place.
Insight check.
This would be.
That's motive.
This is
How
I
good of
was
a
waiting
liar
for it.
is Billy?
This is going to be a charm versus charm, which sounds like an '80s sitcom.
Charm versus Charm would be a great 80s sitcom.
It's probably two people with the
Ooh.
last name Charm. They've
Yes.
opened rival
Oh.
detective
Oh.
agencies.
18.
All
I'm
right,
going
well,
to use my star to make it a dirty 20.
oh my
Hell
god.
yeah. Ha!
Oh, holy shit. This is absolutely fucking bunkers.
I see Ted keep rolling and rolling. How
He's
many times are you
exploding.
lucky
He's
breaking?
exploding.
I
a lot.
exploded 4 times. That was a 46.
That might be the highest roll of the game.
I think it might. I think we had one in the 30s before. Wow.
I think
So
yeah,
I would say-
that
He's a good
might
liar.
be top.
So
That might be top now.
I would
Rosie's
say
digging through a little like purse to like put some money on the table and be like, okay, well.
so. I think the
just-
way this manifests, Coop, is the way Billy, the confidence with
He's
which
so
Billy
earnest.
says this, and yeah, his earnestness makes you doubt what you heard. Makes you second guess yourself.
Coop just kind of, just kind of plays with his straw and goes,
Well, gee, Billy. I'm sorry. Maybe it wasn't what I thought.
These people are
I
just-
want this to hurt you, by the way. Coop's eyes well up with tears.
I feel bad for Coop.
You're,
He's
I
just a
really
little
thought
guy.
it was real, and I'm really sorry, Billy. You're one
It's
of
all
my.
right.
We're friends, and I.
These people are messing with us in every way possible.
I look at Coop and I'm really trying to read his expression. He seemed so sure. And he's just a little man. So I think, Rosie, I think if I can
Little
just say
man.
so,
No,
Coop's face, he doesn't hide his emotions.
I think Rosie
He-
believes
it's
him.
shame.
Like,
Shame face.
I come over and I'm like, look, it's okay. Like these people are gonna keep messing with us. We have to stick together. And like I, offer a hug or hug you, whatever. To try to make you not feel bad about this.
Well, look, the question keeps coming back to the same thing. What are we gonna do? We can't just keep sitting here waiting for stuff to happen to us, right?
I guess you should probably maybe use your powers more. I would, but mine are broken.
I would, but mine would require me getting hit by a truck, and I'm not in the mood. Rosie just like scarfs the last big bite of pizza.
I think Oak's just been sitting here listening to all of this now. He's kind of like tucked himself in a corner of the booth, and he's just been playing out all of these. I imagine it's like a buzzing noise of just all of you like either arguing back and forth or just having conversation, and it just mutes out to a still note. And then he remembers what Edward said on the way out, like, you're running out of time, and then that whole thing of his sister and how we could use that. I think I'm going to try to do a brains check, and I would like to, Jake, I would like to try to use my power in this moment.
Ooh.
Oh, okay. So those are two different things.
Son. No, but I mean, I'm saying I'll make a brains check first, and then based off of that, I would like to potentially use my power for something.
Okay, so first make the brains check.
Okay, that's not bad. That's actually
And
fairly good.
since you just called out the secret message I sent to you, I need Jessica to make a brains check too.
Secret message. Secret message. While these fuckers are checking their secret messages, check us out on teespring.com. At teespring.com, we've got all kinds of great t-shirts like the one I'm wearing, the one Sumiko is wearing, the one Jeremy is wearing, and all kinds of other stuff. You can get it on coffee mugs and pencil cases, I think, and stickers and all kinds of other great stuff. Teespring.com. Just search the link in the description for this video.
No banana hammocks, though.
No banana hammocks,
No.
unfortunately.
But
We're all
we
out.
do have some new designs. We have an all beans, and we have an EU, and we have a domain pop.
Yes. It's great. So exciting. Oh, fuck you. Putting it in the
What'd you
chat
get
so
for
we
your
can all
brains
see.
there, Chadley?
I got a 15.
Ooh. So I'm gonna tell you what this brains check means, and then you can decide if you're still gonna do what you were gonna do. As you all are having this conversation, and you mentioned that it's so perfect, as you mentioned that everything sort of comes into this moment of stillness, you realize that all of the ambient noise within Maniacs has stopped. As you glance around, you realize that every other patron, some adults, some students, people that are behind the counter, Luigi, every single one of them has stopped what they're doing. And as you make this realization, every one of them you see goes, they're all looking at your table.
Oh.
You see
Oh,
a
God.
car that was driving by, slow to a stop. The driver's side door opens up, and you see the person standing next to their open door, staring inside. A couple people that were walking by stop, and they just turn and they're looking inside Maniacs. Now, would you like to still do what you were going to do?
Okay, so here's what I'm thinking. Also, what did Jessica get for a brains check?
She did not perceive. Ironically.
Okay, did not perceive. Okay.
No perception.
So I will.
Excuse me. You're the only one that's noticed this at the moment.
Here's what I'm gonna do. Can you guys hear me? I want to make sure because my stuff is getting.
You're a
all
little
weird.
frozen, but we can hear you.
God damn it.
Okay, I'm frozen, but you guys can
Nope,
hear me. Okay,
you're good.
that'll
You're
work.
good.
Yes.
You're good.
Is that better? Okay.
Talk, Valentina.
All right. So, what I'd like to do is I'm going to look over at Jessica. I'm going to ask to take her hand, right? And then I'm going to ask to probably take Laz's hand next to me. And I'm going to firmly place my back against the booth. Do y'all trust me?
Okay, hold on a second, because it's going to get weird. Everything is going to reconnect, and the stream might automatically reconnect. Because everything's powering back on. So brace yourselves.
Nobody get naked. Yeah, no, I think that's what's happening. You're there.
Okay, I'm here. But for some reason, Zoom isn't up. This is weird.
Nobody knows what we're up to.
Hold
I hear it. It's okay again. That's what I hear.
I'm trying to figure out what's happening here. So chat, say something if you can hear me, because
We can hear you.
okay. So, I'm just I don't know what's happening.
Yeah, you're in the stream all by yourself.
So
It's great because you're
all by yourself. We're all dark, and you're just sitting there in the little box going, I don't know what's happening.
And they, and then they all died.
Hold on
Everything
a
is
second.
You do know you need to edit this somehow, some
So
fancy
meta.
way now.
So meta.
okay, this
Oh
is
my goodness.
this is
This
weird.
is weird.
Hold on
Hold
one
on
second.
1 second.
Oh God,
No,
we're
Benny
back
Jakes.
in
Oh,
squares.
no. Oh no.
Not this square, but who are you
Yay.
guys this time around?
Okay, so
Bless you.
yeah, this is.
I am officially Laz. I have
I'm Coop.
upgraded. Yes.
I think we might have an outtakes at the end of this episode. or something.
Whoa! I'm Coop and Oak.
Oh,
Whoa.
you're both. You've
Oh.
reached.
Okay.
you've
Just a
reached
second,
so-
for
status.
just a sec.
I think everybody's back where they belong. We're not going to play
Yay.
anymore because it just
Nate
ended
saw it.
on a perfect note.
Saw it appropriate.
Very
yeah.
very coincidentally, I will have to do something fancy in the editing. But yeah, I lost internet.
Wow.
At the best possible time of the worst possible time. So
you trust me.
we will get to do, and I can edit it back in. Here's what's weird is I've lost access. Okay, there we go. Let's say I lost access to my music controls. We can go ahead and do the outro, and then I can sort of cut in this last little bit of us doing. Ted was very sad that we weren't going to get to do the meta. So yeah, so thank you to everybody who tuned in as always, and for all the usual support. Please do check out pavlov.org/secret
Oh,
to
yeah.
check out the auction for the charity game coming up on December 7th. And yeah, it's awesome seeing everybody hanging out in chat and theorizing and having fun. And of course, as always, a huge thank you to all of these amazing players who continue to be excited by all the little twists and turns that I'm throwing their way. So with that, I will say a thank you to Chad, Tamiko, Carrie, Ted, Jeremy, and Em, without whom this would just be me talking to myself for a couple hours. With that, we're going to go ahead and end tonight's stream the same way we end every stream, and you can say it with me if you want. A meta.
Technical difficulty.
Meta.
We should
You
just pour
get it?
chocolate on it and let